Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Papa Joe for this week's edition of the Metal Shop Vlogs. This week we have some really cool guests, the Soulful Gentlemen. If y'all could go ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right, I'm Sonny. I play the guitars and also I am the lead vocalist.
I'm Josh. I play the drums.
I'm Monico and I play the bass.
I'm Jaguar and I play the harmonica.
Cool. So, talk to us about I don't know if y'all remember, but we had Sonny and Monico on a recent vlog. And during that one, we got to talk a lot about like your origins as far as like when you guys were in Vain Nation.
Yep.
We go back about 6 or 7 years with these guys from the days they would play at the Percolator and a bunch of other cool venues from the past.
Percolator.
So how did the Soulful Gentlemen start?
Oh, well, Monico and I I listened to the blues since I started playing guitar, but Monico got really, really into blues, especially Joe Bonamassa. So we started going back and forth, and all of a sudden we started making some blues songs. And I asked Josh to play. Oddly enough, he's a really good drummer. He's just really reluctant to play. Practice.
Lazy.
He's
Lazy is the word.
epitome.
You guys,
Epitome
but
of
would you
laziness.
say that
So-
like the drummer is like the hardest worker in the band?
Not this
Definitely
one.
we can
Like
accept that.
in general.
But see, here's the thing: is that I don't put much work into it, but Sonny hates it because I come up with the beats he wants on the first or second shot.
Yeah.
And
It's frustrating.
so he's come up with a thing, and I'm like, I don't want to practice until y'all get it perfect. And so I'll just sit there, and they'll go through practice. I'll be playing video games. I'll do whatever I want. And as soon as they say, "Okay, I'm ready," all right, we dial in there, 1 or 2 takes, and then
It's
not-
dumb.
Nice.
It's just dumb.
So it's not my fault. I'm so good. I don't have to practice. That's the thing.
But there
Hey, it's
is-
weird because I don't practice this either.
But we decided to collectively do a band, and then all of a sudden we were talking to Jaguar. We were just in my kitchen. He's like, "Oh yeah, I play the harmonica." You play the harmonica? He's my cousin. I don't even know this. He's like, "Yeah, I could join your band." All right, and that's how it happened. We just joined the band together.
Well, not really. The first time we played was when we were jamming together. It was like 9 or 10 at night. You pulled out your acoustic guitar. Josh had his bongos. I just started like it didn't sound right at first, but when I pulled out the harmonica, we started flowing together. It was almost like, what's the word for it?
Destiny.
I guess
It was meant to be. Cool. And so like Monico, how did he get into the mix? Because I know you guys are related brothers, and Jaguar's a cousin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me and Sonny met in high school around my sophomore year, and we had a few classes together. We initially started Vain Nation with Josh also, and Josh was supposed to be on the bass, and I was supposed to be on the drums. And then we were practicing in some little room one day, and Sonny walked out, and Josh was like, "I want to play the drums." And
Well, they were my drums.
yeah, he was like,
So I wanted to play my drums. Okay.
so I was like, all right, whatever. So I got the bass, and Sonny came back, and he looked confused, and we just kind of stuck like that. So
And since then, Vain Nation, Soulful Gentlemen, everything we've done, he's been on the drums, he's been on the bass, and I've been on the guitar. I've recently started singing, so I don't know. I've recently actually heard our first Vain Nation videos.
You revisited.
I really thought I was semi good. No, I wasn't like at all.
yeah, we go back to the old videos, and we're like, oh man, we were really bad.
Yeah, I thought we were rock stars at the end of it.
All of us just looked terrible. It was an interesting experience.
I like that one song, that Van Nation song, where it was like kind of like gang vocals, where everybody was
Oh,
saying.
no remorse.
Oh,
No
no,
Remorse,
Nation,
yeah.
I think that always sticks.
Yeah, we
sticks
did.
in my mind.
Yeah,
Just-
heroes of modern age, or who are they now? Henry
Yeah, yeah,
Melville.
yeah.
They come and they scream the parts and like yeah.
Cool. So like, talk to us about your influences. You said that Monico was getting into Joe Bonamassa, and that's
Yes.
how you guys went in the direction of blues.
Yeah. Well, when I started playing guitar, my dad especially loves Stereo Von. So I actually learned Lenny as one of my first songs, like a complicated song that I learned. So Stereo Von has always been in the mix. Then as soon as the Soulful Gentlemen started, and he introduced me to Joe Bonamassa actually. So, and Joe Bonamassa has a bunch of stuff, like too many stuff.
Too many stuff?
Yeah, almost 3 men. But then we got Kenny Wayne Shepherd was a big part of our childhood.
Of course, we have to go back to B.B. King too.
Oh, Buddy Guy.
Nice.
Classic. Eric Clapton. My parents' wedding song is Wonderful Tonight from Eric Clapton. So
Nice. And Josh? How did you make the transition from drumming for Vain Nation to
I didn't
the
want
blues
to.
band?
you didn't want to.
I was like, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a blues band. I was like,
Did you use YouTube?
no. Well,
How to drum for a blues band?
it's because I didn't like it because I thought it was so simple. All the blues songs I remember, it's all you hear the guitar part, you hear the bass part, you hear the singer, but the drummer's just in the background, just like doing whatever, just stating that same beat. And I was like, I don't feel like a drummer. Like I like that. So Sonny was like, no, you need to see actual blues. And I was like, what is actual
I
blues?
remember telling you.
So they sat me down and made me listen to a blues playlist. And every time I got in the car with them, they started playing blues, and I just hated it. And so I just sit there in the car. And then I started. I started to like it. I was like, all right, I can hear. And he's like, look at what the drummer's doing here, and I'm like, I guess I'll give it a shot.
we were playing ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man, Legs. When we were playing Bad to the Bone, this guy was getting into it. Like he
After,
Yeah.
okay, I had to get over my fear of just being
had
a
to-
background drummer. Okay?
You had to get him like excited about it first.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, and then I guess for him, the newer wave of blues, like I said, ZZ Top or I forget
Joe
the guy's name.
Bonamassa?
No, not Joe Bonamassa. The guy that plays Bad to the Bone.
George Thorogood.
George
George
Thorogood.
Thorogood, yeah.
And the Delaware Destroyers.
Yeah. I always forgot. But mine were more like Muddy Waters or Albert Collins or there was another one that I was thinking about that I was gonna say here, but I slipped on my mind. But
How'd you get into harmonica?
that's
what I think it's awesome.
I want to know this.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking that question, because I know a lot of dudes who say, "Oh yeah, I play the harmonica," but as soon as you find one and give it to them, they can't play it.
Exactly.
This guy can play. He can play.
So funny enough, I was on an FBLA trip in high school. Junior year, they took us to Chicago for our nationals trip, and I was there with my favorite teacher from the school, Mr. Macias. We were walking around downtown Chicago, and we were passing by blues bars, and all I could remember hearing that was so ingrained in my brain was the sound of the harmonica and how somebody can make that little piece of metal and wood with a reed inside of it sound so good and so emotionful, you know what I mean? And at that point, I decided I'm walking to the nearest shop that sells like cheap blues harmonicas, and I'm gonna practice in the hotel room. And 12:30 in the morning, 1 in the morning, the guys were already trying to go to sleep, trying to prep for the competition the next morning, and I'm there wailing on the harmonica and stuff. And from then on, as soon as I got back to El Paso, I picked up my first set. It's a little plastic set. Wasn't very good. But after we started getting into it, I decided to make investments on some really good harmonicas, and honestly, that's pretty much the only instrument I play
Well,
as of right now.
That's the only instrument you dedicate yourself to.
Dedicated myself wholeheartedly. Like,
Come on, Josh.
I know, right?
Mr. He's the Allen Iverson of the band. I'm talking practice.
not a game. Not a game.
Yeah, you know what? And it's cool because like I've always told myself, I'm gonna buy a harmonica and I'm gonna learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that I don't know. Like, can you play the beginning of Train?
Yeah.
Dude.
I showed him
yeah.
that from Blackfoot, and
Oh,
he was
like,
like,
holy
"Is
cow."
that just not a harmonica?" And it's like,
Yeah, it
it's a
is. Yeah, it's Rick Medlock. Rick Medlock.
Yeah.
Cool. And what about your influences, Monico?
I mean, the
Oh,
one of the
Joe
biggest,
Bonamassa.
I got into Joe Bonamassa a lot. I've always listened to B.B. King, and it breaks my heart because the year before he died, he came here, and I was gonna go because it was at Speaking Rock, and I don't know what possessed me to not go, and I didn't.
Those are those moments, man, that you
Right,
miss
I know.
out. And you're like,
so I'm like,
damn.
whenever someone comes, I try to always go see them because I'm like, they could die. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So you got to see your favorite artist.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so obviously your sound is blues, but is there any other musical taste that you add to it?
Well, it's
Maybe-
actually, if you think about like the blues, there's different types. Like there's the contemporary, which is the more rock based, like most like Stereo Vaughan and everything. Stereo Vaughan is more Texas, but it's still contemporary. You got like the Delta blues. So when we first started, we were actually doing a lot of Delta stuff, Delta sounding.
Yeah, Delta sound.
Because he's a harmonica player, he's got to be on picking. I get it.
We'll get his response.
But more recently, especially to get Josh involved, because got to keep him interested. We're doing a little bit more contemporary style, a little bit more distortion on the guitar. Not a lot, but enough to sustain the note a little bit. And he's got his own parts and solos are a little bit more up there. I actually like my solos a lot more.
We had to put like a little rockabilly kind of twist to some of the songs too, to kind
That's
of speed
cool.
them up.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make our own stamp on the blues. but-
Psychobilly. Had a stand-up bass.
Actually, yeah, I know how to play that.
Okay, so Jaguar, what
I,
influences your sound?
in my opinion,
Something's
Delta
wrong.
blues is like more muddy waters. You know what I mean? You got the slide guitar, you have the acoustics, and then you have a very, very heavy bass in it. Not to say that our songs don't have heavy bass, but I think they lean more towards like the Joe Bonamassa, Stevie Ray Vaughan
Yeah,
kind
The
of
more modern.
more than Delta.
Well, I mean,
Modern
But
Texas.
our first,
Texas
like
blues.
Dirty Bitch, that was.
that one, yeah, that one. Okay, all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like our first song, that's what we were.
Wow, dirty bitch. Well,
It's about cheating woman.
must be
right?
an inside. Cool. So let's go ahead and get into your original music. Oh, by the way, where do you guys practice?
Sometimes we'll practice at my house. Monico's house has some air conditioning.
Nice.
Every once in a while, or one time we took the band of Jaguars.
Boys' night out. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Like they said, let's practice the Jaguars, and everybody went to the wrong place.
Yeah,
Poor Jaguars are staying at his house waiting for them.
Jaguar with the Jaguars. Then.
Yeah, and also, you mentioned air conditioning. This is the first vlog that we're doing with air conditioning in the metal shop.
Thank God.
It's now fully air conditioned. Such a relief, man. 101 degrees today, man.
Crazy.
And in black.
I can breathe. I can breathe now.
I know.
Cool. So, how many original songs do you guys have that are strictly Soulful Gentlemen songs?
So if we're talking that me and Monico know is a higher number than all of us know.
Jug and Jazz.
I think like complete songs, we have maybe 7 or 8 complete songs that Josh and Jaguar know. Ones that me and Sonny have done, we probably have a good maybe 12 to 15 different songs right now.
And we're always writing, so that could change. It could go up by 5 the next day or whatever. It is, so.
Do you guys play any covers during your set?
We do. Actually, oddly enough, we were at a monster truck show, and the George Thorogood, they were playing Bad to the Bone, and I was starting to sing it, and there was this one little girl in front of us like, Mommy, he sings this one good. Look, hear him. And I was like, I guess we got to cover that one. So we covered Bad to the Bone.
Yeah, kids don't like. Kids are honest.
Yeah. He does that bad, like really good. Like, I can't do it right, but Sonny does it really good.
Yeah, all of it, the rough voice and everything.
Cool.
Other than that, I don't know if we've done any, other than like little house shows that we do for our family.
Yeah.
I mean, ZZ Top, we played before. We played, I do Stereo Von, but just like Lenny, which is the instrumental.
The Eric Clapton song.
So, Wonderful Tonight. So
And we
played
went to
that
go
a
check
couple
out
times.
a bunch of friends of ours. They're like in the cover band music scene, and they started a new like a blues cover band called Sweet 18, and dude, they tore it up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're fucking crazy.
Where
They're
do they
really
play?
good. They played at so like Ball Paso has like that bar,
Okay.
and I don't remember what it was called before, but now it's called the Brooklyn Lounge, and they really they remodeled it, man. They have like
Yeah.
overhead garage doors. I don't know where they got the idea from. They have like 2 big
Stealing it.
doors, and it's like really well lit now, and it's just a little more modern, man. It was a really cool show, but they had like a really long set. They had 3 sets, and it was excellent. Man. So
wow.
if you guys get a chance, check them out.
Yeah, we will.
Can you? What was the band name?
Sweet Nadine.
Again?
Shout out
Check
to
it
Rick Brooks, our homie. So like, how long is your set?
I mean, it's the blues. You could extend it pretty much, like, throwing a little solo here. Let Jaguar do a couple more bars, his harmonica solo. So Josh might get a drum solo, but we'll see. But I mean, we can get anywhere from, usually we play 20-minute sets. That's what a lot of the sets that we play here are. When we're by ourselves, we could probably good 40 minutes if need be. Maybe even more. So depending on covers and everything like that.
Not even just covers, but just when we feel like jamming too. Like you just start playing a couple chords, he'll help tag along, and
Yeah.
everything starts to flow really nicely. And
Cool. So like, is any of it recorded yet, or do you have plans to record?
We do. So oddly enough, I've been paying for Pro Tools, and I have a bunch of studio equipment, which I actually gave to Jaguar's brother Phoenix. Yeah, they have some weird names. Anyway, so he's a little. He looks like a little producer kind of guy. So I gave him the Pro Tools. I gave him all the speakers, and I was like, "Here, once you learn how to record, let us know." And he's already off for summer, so that's his plan.
Nice.
So this summer we should probably get actually like studio quality stuff out.
Yes.
We have some stuff on our YouTube though and Facebook.
But it's mostly just live shows.
Yeah, live shows.
Just live footage.
Yeah.
Cool. Sometimes that's the best kind, man.
Oh yeah.
So like, other than the obvious, like the blues, like what do you guys write about? Like, what are the themes? Are they like positive, or is it like shit you went through?
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, I write a lot of sad songs. Josh has told me this since Bay Nation.
Some of the songs that he writes just scare
Okay.
the hell out of me. All right. It's just like,
I
why
mean,
are you
but-
writing about this? He's like, just came to me. I'm like, no, you demented ass.
My mom's gonna hear this.
I was in the same boat as him.
But, I mean, I think with the blues, they've been kind of going out in different places. We have a song that it's called "Don't Go Telling Your Mother," which we've shown to quite a few girls, and they feel sorry for who it was written about, but it wasn't. It's just made up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fiction.
yeah, it's all, that was a fake song, but
Now
Yeah,
you
like-
let the cat out the bag, man.
Right?
If the boot
No,
fits.
you have to. Sometimes I think you need a disclaimer like that nowadays because somebody's gonna hear the lyrics and think that you know something that you know
Or
what I
the-
mean.
or maybe
it
it's
could
one
come
of
off
our-
as kind of like kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
So hey, man, it's all fiction.
Or we have one that's Sing the Blues with Me, which we're gonna perform, but that's like a call and response type song. It's pretty much, I would say it's almost like a love song almost, because it's pretty much saying like, hey, you sing the blues, let me go sing with you forever. And then the other verse is the other way around. Hey, I sing the blues, why don't you come sing with me forever? And then sing the blues with me. So pretty like most of the lyrics are pretty basic. It's about the music and the feeling. But then we got, like we said, the ones about cheating women, and our older stuff was a little bit.
Cheating people.
I mean,
Don't do it.
we got an influence like a lot from B.B. Keenan. I mean, some of his songs, they do talk about like cheating women, and I mean that's how he was, I guess, back in the old time. But we get influence from a lot of lyrics from old blues and very modern blues.
Nice.
What not a lot of people know is that Monico gets a lot of his influence from Steel Panther.
We don't play that. We don't play those.
Hey, and you know what? Speaking of like, the first thing that came into my mind was like their style, like the '80s glam style. But like, how'd you guys come up with the idea for your ensembles?
I don't have a black shirt. So
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw you guys arriving, it reminded me of a scene from the movie The Warriors. Like they were all like the gentlemen, like fucking guitars, and they beat the shit out of them. And then Jag's like fucking throwing harmonicas, like ninja stars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we decided on the name, we decided we're like, okay, that's a soulful gentleman. We got to look the part. And then blues players, when you see any blues player, they're not too shabby. Usually they're dressed at least in what the means. I mean, Siri Bomber was like a Chiefs hat for an Indian, but he also wore his suits for his albums and stuff. So.
But you got to take a look at where we started, because Sonny wore this god awful hat for like 2 of our live shows, and
Like a
we
pimp hat?
I replaced it.
relentlessly told him, do not wear that hat. You look like a cowboy witch. And
Yes.
he was like,
Yes.
he's like,
No,
no, man.
more
And
like
it's
an
like
Amish
that
cowboy,
movie. It's
yeah.
like,
He's like Lebanon Levi.
you ever seen that scene from Scary Movie where the sheriff's hat keeps growing and growing?
It's like the last one.
Every show, she couldn't even fit. That was what it was like. But
I traded hats like
just
halfway
over
through.
time, we decided to go a little bit more casual with it. You know what I mean? Still be dressed nice, but not be so uptight about it. You know what I
Right,
mean? Because the blues is, at least for me, is like coming home from like a hard day at work and stuff, and all you want to do is just let out whatever you have. You know what I mean?
True, man. Do you guys have any experience like in a recording studio?
Yes, actually.
You have recorded before?
So, actually, not Jaguar. We did. What was that? Your cousin's
Glassbox.
Glassbox. So we recorded
Oh,
Glassbox one time, and
Who
I
was
was an
engineer?
Avenger. Huh?
Who was in engineer?
Demo. Demo. Or what's his name? David.
David.
Yeah.
He used to work
He-
at Guitar Center.
Yeah, they call him Demo because there was other Davids, I guess.
Cool.
But
And
we
was
recorded-
that with the Vain Nation or with?
Yes, so Vain Nation there, and then we recorded Vain Nation again, but when we had our female singer, when we went to Beacon Hill, the one right next to Guitar Center.
Nice.
So
Didn't
That
they
was
record? They recorded Khalid, right?
think so.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah,
It did.
Yeah.
it's a pretty nice studio over there.
You could say that, dude. You could say we recorded the same studio where Khalid recorded location.
Boom.
Dang, man.
Facts.
Do that, dude. Do location like in blue style, dude. Imagine.
Actually,
With the
that'd be
harmonica.
sick.
Hey,
Now we gotta do it, man.
hold on the copyright though, man. Like,
We gotta just text him and be like, hey bro, what's up?
It's a parody. It's a parody.
And, and then it's crazy because, like, speaking of Khalid, we really tried hard to get him on the Middle Shop vlogs, like, when we first started, like, almost 3 years ago. And that was, like, when he was still in high school and before he blew up. But I guess even at that time, he was real busy, so we just never got the opportunity. He did message me back on Instagram, so that was pretty cool.
Guess you
I was
did
like,
anything.
damn it,
he's
we're
a
that
real
close.
one, you know,
Looking up,
he
yeah.
shouted us out. What was it? Not us as a band, but El
Like
Paso.
El Paso.
Yeah.
Guys like, hey, Soulful Gentlemen.
Yeah. Only won that award.
I first saw you, you reminded me of my first love. When I first saw you, baby, you reminded me of my first love. But the words in your mother, girl, it's more than what they say. I'm gonna take you out, and I'm gonna wine and dine you. I said I'm gonna take you out, and I'm gonna wine and dine you. But don't mistake this, honey, for something more than what it is. Bring on down now. You won't tie me down. Not now, not ever. Now's the time to tell you. Listen forever. Don't go tell him. Don't go telling your mother. Girl, that's more than what this really is.
cool. So let's get into shows. This is called the show off segment. Where have you guys played? Like as a Soulful Gentleman?
The Rock House. That's especially where we played our first 2 shows there. Recently played at the Love Buzz. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, whose show was that?
It was Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Cool.
So yeah, that was actually a pretty good show. Actually,
You guys
I
got to
really
play at Love Buzz before they did the stage and all that, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, it's
It goes
really
like-
it's really
it was like a
legit
couple
now,
weeks
man.
before.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, yeah, I felt like we're gonna start pitting with them and stuff. Like, man, they're really getting into the blues.
We should have done it.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
But I think that's about it so far. Especially with all our schedules. Well, except for Monico, because he's already graduated, we all go to school. We all have, except for Monico, have full-time jobs or part-time, but we have jobs. Monico, he does a lot in his free time. Don't worry.
A lot of Fortnite.
He's very good at it. He's like, he carries our team all the
I
time.
got it today, so it's cool.
Cool.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, so we just try to get into schedules. Recently, Jaguar got a better schedule, so we can actually
Yeah.
practice and actually do more shows. So that's gonna be more exciting.
Nice. Okay, so like in the spirit of finals week for some kids, and it's almost like the end of the school year for a bunch, for a lot of kids here and stuff. I want to start asking like bands to give themselves a grade for like their show attendance. Like, how often do you guys go to shows that you're not playing?
Oh,
And yes, I do mean to put people on the spot on this.
actually, well, I would say semi-often, I guess. I wouldn't say like I go to every show or anything like that, but especially if when I go to a bar, and it's somebody I know, especially like the guys from Henry Melville, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna play a show here." I'll go down. I mean, I don't care where it's at.
Yeah, and then also with Foxy Mojo too.
Oh, yeah.
We went
Tristan, man.
when they first started. I know the drummer Tristan, and he knows the lead
Guitar,
singer and
yeah.
guitarist Tristan. And whenever we talked about him, we both thought we were talking about the same person. But when we met them all together, it's like, yeah, no, they're 2 totally different
Yeah.
people we were talking about. But,
Yep.
yeah, they put on really good shows. We saw them at the Battle of the Bands last December, or not this past December, but the year before that.
Yeah.
And then they went on tour. So
When they first started too, Vain Nation actually played for one of the CD release parties.
That's cool. Fun fact about Foxy Mojo, their vlog on the Middle Shop Vlogs, their session has the most views on our YouTube channel. It has like over 14,000 views.
Dang.
Hey.
So
They're pretty good. They're well,
They kinda set
not
the
pretty
standard.
good. They're really
They're
good.
really
yeah.
yeah, they're good. Okay, but what I meant was, how would you grade yourself?
Oh,
great,
ourselves.
great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna give
For
myself
like A to an F, on a scale from A to F.
give myself a C.
Yeah, I give myself a C. I don't go as often as I used
Yeah.
to.
I'm a big D.
Minus.
Damn.
Minus.
I would grade myself a B minus because I win a lot in high school. No, because
No,
I
but we're
did.
talking about this year, like this
Bro,
year.
recently,
I
bro.
just graduated high school.
Bro,
like,
ain't nobody care?
all right, fine. I'd grade myself a C plus then. C plus.
C plus rated, cool.
This guy.
Okay, so like,
when all the bands like all the underground bands kind of like hotel books or a lot like Birds, the posters that you have there.
oh, dude, I love like,
Dude, like I was there 24/7. Capsize when they came.
Dude,
you actually
Capsize-
took a picture of
Capsize
me and my.
spent the night here. The last time we were in town.
Yeah?
Yeah. They crashed here.
Dang.
He's like, can I spend the night too?
I got a house. I'm good. I'm good. But no, yeah, but Capsize was really good. I saw Bing as an Ocean.
Dude, we're at those shows too.
Yeah.
I took a picture of you where?
At the Capsize show, the last one that came.
Yeah.
I'll show you later when we're not
Okay, cool.
recording, but
He's the one being
that was the
arrested.
first time I think I mentioned. But I know you meet a lot of people, so that's why I don't.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of weird, and I don't mean to be rude, and I swear, but when I'm at a show, I'm actually working and I'm focusing on my angles,
Yeah.
And a lot of times kids will come up to me and say hi, and I always say hi, man, because
Yeah.
I love being at shows, dude. I feel like I'm in my element there. So, I don't mean to be rude. I'll always say hi anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And I think it takes a lot, like, for kids to come up and like start talking to Judy and I, and then we're more inclined to remember them. We
Definitely.
have a face to conversation and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Okay, and so what venues would you like to play?
All of them.
Well, I know this summer I'm gonna try to get us to play at the Fountains because they always have.
Oh,
a
yeah,
show
those are
on
cool
Saturday
shows,
night.
man.
Yeah.
Music on the lawn.
Yeah.
The
That's-
Fountains
yeah.
of Farah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good turnout too. So I mean,
That's how they say it. Fountains of Farah. And when we were kids, we drive by, está la pinche Farah. It's changed. It's evolved.
What's it called? I would like to play. Where did we see Foxy Mojo at?
Oh, lowbrow.
The Lowbrow. I'd
Yeah.
love to play the Lowbrow.
Actually, out of all our bands, we've never performed there, which is interesting.
We were supposed to with Vain Nation, right?
Yeah. And then I don't know what happened that show, or I think
I
the
think
production.
the show got like postponed or something.
Yeah, and then it never
when they moved
just never
venue.
got
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were booked in vain.
right.
In this nation.
Wow. Like, dang.
Okay, so like, what are some of the favorite artists that you've opened up for? And it could be local or touring or whoever.
Oof. You know, oddly enough, we had this Swedish band when we were Vain Nation. They're called Crash Diet. And and I remember like they were some weird looking cats. Like they were like almost like I guess punk rock mixed with ska or something. Like there was like no doubt in some punk band had a baby. Like like green mohawk hair and studs everywhere and everything. And they were all really skinny dudes like those guys from Guitar Hero. So it was pretty cool to open up for them. And then
One of the roadies, interesting, weird occurrence that I had. He was like, "Hey, dude, I need a jacket," and I'm like, "What am I supposed to do with this information?" He's like, "Hey, if you can get me a jacket, I'll get you a crew shirt from Crash Diet." And I was like, "Let me go check my damn truck. Let me see if I have a damn jacket." So I gave him a jacket. He gave me a shirt that had crew on the back and it had a little Crash Diet logo. And I ripped the hell out of it because it was a medium. I am not a medium. So tried it on once. I just hoped it. But no, it was a really cool experience because they were like kind of acting like, oh, we're this really big touring band, but they stopped and said hi to all the bands that opened up for them, and and we listened to them play, and they were actually really good, and it was a really nice time that we had out there.
and
I wasn't in Vain Nation at the time or ever, but my favorite band that they opened up for was Being as an Ocean when they first started touring.
Oh, you guys opened for
Yeah,
Yeah.
when the
Very
first
well.
time they came to El Paso.
I think it was at the Percolator.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
went to the
Yeah, it wasn't the first.
a lot of these
Damn.
Yeah.
Foxy Mojo. Too.
I remember we went to see Being as an Ocean at the Percolator, but I don't know if it was that same year or not. I just know that show was stupid packed.
I miss that venue though.
Yeah, because Being as an Ocean is
Yeah, they have a big following.
Yeah.
We've seen them at Warped Tour also. And pretty good. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of theirs, but they always put on a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's those bands who are really good, like through their recordings and stuff, and then there's some that are just really good live bands.
Yeah.
definitely.
Cool. So, what are some of the good and bad aspects of our beautiful music scene, in your opinion?
Ooh. Well, how much time we got?
I mean, I think there's a lot of.
To be exact, we have 7 minutes and 1 second for this.
We got
segment.
some bad blood sometimes between either bands and bands or bands and promoters and stuff like that. Which, I mean, when Josh and I were growing up, and I believe Jag and hopefully Monico, when we were raised, you got to be respectful. So like when we get booked on gigs, we're not just hey, we get there at this time and then we leave right after. Like sure, we want to take care of our instruments. We're gonna pack up. We're gonna do everything. But we're gonna be there a little bit early to check out, who's playing first. Maybe even if there's like a 2-part show, we'll go the week before. We'll check out some of the bands and actually not only see the competition, but enjoy the scene too. And then especially with the promoters, I make it a point for that at every show. At the end of it, I go and thank either whoever promoted us or the owners of the venue or both if I can. So
Definitely.
Cool. Yeah, that's like really good PR for your band.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way, man. I think if like they remember you, they'll be more inclined to book you,
Yeah.
and it's very helpful. So hey, dude,
It
you're
really
ahead of the
worked-
game here.
It really worked for Vain Nation. For Soulful Gentlemen, I mean, we're kind of, still songwriting, still putting on a good set and try to figure out, the songs. We haven't done so many shows. We wanted to do a couple straight away so that way, we could be like, all right, there's enough of a following or people are digging this and, like actually test the waters here in El Paso because we really hadn't seen that scene, a blues scene at all.
Yeah.
When we were in Vain Nation, we never even heard about, any
blues
blues
bands.
shows, anything out there. So, in testing the waters, it was surprising how much of a response that we got. And we were playing for an older crowd, and they were like, "Oh, you sound like this, or you sound like that," and I like that you guys dressed up, and so, it's definitely a new element coming towards El Paso. And I think it's awesome because now we're starting to see more and more actually.
And you know, when we played at the Love Buzz too, at first people were like, oh, they're blues, and then they started walking out. But as soon as we started playing our second song, people started coming back in. People, when they went to go get their drinks, they came back. We had like 3 or 4 random dudes we had never seen or met before, and they were like, man, we've never heard music like that before, and we really enjoyed it, and this and that. And it was a really good response from at least a younger crowd too, that, you know, at least a lot of my generation like don't really listen to blues. I mean, the most they'll say is, oh, I've heard a couple Jimi Hendrix songs and maybe 1 or 2 Stevie Ray Vaughan songs, but that's the limit, you know what I mean? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because they didn't grow up in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
But to get that kind of response from people that never really heard that kind of music before is
I think it's good though, man, because I'm trying to think of another original blues band in El Paso off the top of my head, and I can't. But it's good to like mix it up a little bit, because sometimes the bands start to all sound the same, man.
Yeah.
And I know, and it sucks to say that, because I know every band member works really hard. They work their asses off to write their music and stuff. But it does get kind of stale sometimes, you know, the scene. So throwing in a mixture of blues is a good thing, man. Cool.
Add a little color.
Yeah, I remember one time.
And a
we
little bit of
saw-
soul. I'm waiting for you guys to talk about soul, because Soulful.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go ahead and get into your social media, man.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
Where
actually
can
have some
people
for
find
this
you?
Our last one, like, we don't have a Facebook page.
Oh, that's right.
We have an
Oh,
Instagram with one picture.
I think you gave me the Facebook page like in the car when you left. Huh?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Casa the doors out, you know.
I still get
No.
notifications from that page, man. It's like Vape Nation like this. I was like, son,
No,
it's on
that's
the
the
wrong
Karma Brother
profile
guy.
right now.
Okay, so where can
But-
people find you?
We're on Facebook.
Yeah, we have a Facebook, an Instagram, and a YouTube page right
Channel.
now.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool, man. So what are you guys sharing on YouTube? You have like videos that people record for you, or do you have somebody recording for you?
Yeah, we have usually family members recording for us. I think right now we have 2 or 3 shows up there. Our most recent one was from the Love Buzz. I think that's 5 songs that are up there from that show.
I'm starting to see that a lot now, where people get their friends to record for them.
Yeah.
We've made it like a habit to do that since Vain Nation.
Yeah.
Like we have pretty much almost all of our shows on our Vain Nation YouTube page.
Yeah, we had one friend try to do it. He did it in black and white and red, and he was messing
Crazy.
with us. Yeah, we were like, dude, we just wanted the show. Like, it wasn't too bad.
Just
Like,
regular.
No, but you look really good, man.
so my mom recorded this last one, the Love Buzz. So if you hear this loud girl, ah! That's her.
That's her. Yeah.
Did you just call
She runs up on stage and like she like wipes Josh's sweat. That's what moms do, man. Shout out to moms.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, and so what's the most reliable way to like contact you guys, like for booking or hookups or
Usually smoke signals.
late
work.
night conversations?
No, you know, I gotta attend to it.
If you message us through Facebook on our personal Facebook or the band Facebook, we usually get back to you probably within minutes.
Yeah, or even on our members, you can actually contact one of us too. So we're usually open. No, nothing can resolve.
Somebody
all
will
this
somebody will
overnight.
reply.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody.
And we'll contact other people too. We want to get on shows.
Cool.
So.
What advice would you give to a young musician who's like maybe wanting to start playing music and doesn't know whether it's like a good idea or not?
I would say just pick up an instrument that you think that you would like and try it out. You'd never know until you actually pick it up and really mess around with it. Maybe try to learn like an easy song. Like I remember one of the first songs I learned was like the Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson on the bass, and it was easy, but when I played it, I was like, this is what I want to do. I was like, it's fun. And I mean, you learn when you actually pick it up.
And I would say definitely don't give up. I mean, when I started, I played the bass in orchestra. I played, and we had a guitar in my family for like 10 years at that point. Nobody picked it up. So I figured, hey, I'm gonna learn this. And I had no formal instruction, never took a class or anything. Guitar tabs are great. They put numbers, so I have no idea what the notes I'm playing, but you know what? I can play. And then it always helps, not only practicing, but practicing with somebody else too. Actually, me and Josh started together. I was a little bit, I guess, more advanced on the guitar than he was on drums. But I remember playing Highway to Hell from AC/DC and Paradise City from Guns N' Roses. So obviously those are pretty easy drum parts, but when we played them together, like we saw each other and we're like, this is gonna happen. Like
this is
that's like I want to do it even more.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know about Jaguar over here with his harmonicas.
Don't lie about being able to play the harmonica.
It's like you're lying on your resume.
I know, right?
Disclaimer.
Like Josh the other day tries to play one of my harmonicas, and I'm like, all right, put that down. Like,
Okay,
you're
you
hurting
know
my
what?
ears.
Step away.
It was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it's because you know the way he did it. He's like, can you just do this? And I'm like, what is this? And I'm just like, you know, whole mouth blowing air and like hitting 4 holes at once and just picking at this horrendous noise. He's like, no, pick one note.
No, but all jokes aside, you know, whether you play the guitar or an instrument you think might be cliche, make it your own. You know what I mean? You use people's legacies to point you in a direction that you might, you know, paint with your own brush, your own paint, your own everything. You know what I mean? Like if you hear my harmonica, it's you can definitely hear like the muddy waters in it. But you can also hear the Albert Collins. You can also hear the other guy I still can't think about right now.
Shout out to that guy.
Bob,
Shout out to that
so you probably think of Bob Ross because you were talking about paintbrush.
Bob
Yeah,
Ross.
there you go.
If Bob Ross painted with a harmonica,
That sound like Jaguar.
Happy. It'd be happy notes.
happy notes. Yeah, but yeah, make it your own.
Cool. So, talk to us about any hidden or maybe secret talents that you may have, or something that somebody would be surprised to know about you.
I can annoy the crap out of Joshua in like 2 seconds.
Sweet baby Jesus, he knows the buttons and he hits 8 of them all at once. just see what happens.
Dude, that's. No, but you guys are brothers.
That's some talent.
You guys are brothers, so.
That is a talent.
No, in a while.
Okay, Josh.
I'm really good at beer pong.
No, you think you're good. You can't beat me and, me and Monaco.
We just
We
did.
just beat you this last weekend.
I said me and Monaco. You can't beat me, bro, when you're on my team.
Beat you all day, every day, son.
Monico?
I mean, I guess in high school I kind of learned that I liked writing because, I mean, I still do it. I used to write a lot of poems back then, and one of our Vain Nation songs was a poem at first, and I submitted it to some like poem book that they had at Eastwood, and it was the only one that I submitted, and it got into the book, and I was like, oh wow, like that's pretty cool. I felt proud of myself. I was like, oh.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, I just keep writing now. I'm really strict on myself when I write. Sonny knows this. And
He also has
yeah, I just-
no rhythm.
Right.
Trying to sing is just horrible. Like, this line's like 10 syllables
You
long.
gotta make it work.
True.
Jack?
I don't know. I want to ask you guys that. What do you
Well,
think?
you played rugby.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a thing.
I guess I have a niche for finding the weird things and not necessarily being great at them, but being good at them. You know what I mean? In rugby, how many people play harmonica? That's it.
That's my life.
Why did they do that in like rugby where they like hold the ball and like fucking pop it like?
I've never seen anybody
No?
do that before. No. So
Or maybe
when
they
you
just
throw the
twist
ball, when you throw the ball, you like grab it at the top of the corner here and the bottom of the corner, and you twist it like this. I guess that's the easiest way to throw it backwards. I mean, throwing it
Oh,
backwards
yeah.
like that isn't really,
Official.
especially when you're getting mauled by a 250-pound dude. You know, it's not really fun. Yeah, actually, funny story about rugby. When I first joined the team, I was so nervous about not being able to form tackle because I'd never played a contact sport in my life. I went to early college, high school. Before that, I only played baseball and swimming, so I had no idea how to tackle somebody. And he took me to a park. I had asked him, and I took him down in the first 2 hours of a
2 hours, yeah. 2 hours. I mean, I was just like,
Could
hit
have
me,
been
bro.
2 weeks, man.
Yes,
but
hit me.
you know,
Just,
But yeah.
yeah, just hit me.
Yeah.
He ran at me.
yeah.
Again.
Okay, so what about any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody who's helped you or?
Our parents,
Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to those Padres.
They go to every show. They support.
they let us practice.
Yeah,
all
we've
the
seen
time.
we've seen their parents at shows. Saw them one time at that 501 Bistro downtown.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do like going there a lot, huh?
That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they like going everywhere.
Well, my
They're-
parents
they're
go
adults.
with them.
They're
That's why I know.
Well, I
they
think like
going
even back
there
in the
a lot.
day, we would see your parents at shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've always been, and they're always excited about it. The Calm Before the Cross, my mom's not excited about that.
No, she.
So.
She's like, that's devil music. Get Sonny out of that devil music.
Like,
Should
let's
have
go
heard what
down
she
to
said
that
about
path.
Ghost PC, man, when they first came out.
Oh, goodness.
I would probably agree with her, dude. I
anything
think Ghost is such a fucking joke. The new song.
He's all
The new song.
Though-
I took like 5 seconds to
listen to the album.
no, for him to come up with that.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
shit, right? Shit, no, shit's not good.
Well, also want to give a pretty good shout out to
Right now, like,
Dude, you know what?
Vargas.
Sorry, man, but we like we saw them. Judy and I got to see them in the Q studio. They're like from here to where she is,
Yeah.
and I think that's why I just got real turned off to them. Man, it was awesome to be there at the Q studios and stuff, and that we got invited to begin with. But seeing them live,
Yeah.
I got turned off big time by them.
Interesting.
And then we also saw them when they opened Fire Maiden in Albuquerque last year, and dude, like I saw them and then Maiden, and
Well, I mean,
they got spanked.
Yeah.
okay, so that's my bit on Ghost. Cool.
Oh, but also a big shout out to Alex Vargas and Live Audio. Even when he was by him, he was doing his own stuff, either sound or everything like that. He was with V Nation. We lent him a couple stuff. He would do sound for most of the shows we were on. So he's been really supportive, and we're glad to see him taking off. I love seeing his posts on Facebook and stuff, getting new materials and stuff. So definitely him. All the promoters that have ever done any of our shows, especially V Nation, but and of course all the venues. Rock House especially. I guess they've housed the Soulful Gentlemen.
they've
Early
had
studio
both
shows.
bands actually.
Yes. Well, back then it was called the Cockpit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You guys have any shout outs?
Both my parents. My mom's always been very supportive, but specifically my dad. He influenced me and my brother to play instruments from when we were like 4 or 5 years old. I picked up the bass for the first time, and my brother picked up the drums. And being kids, you don't really want to sit down and do something you're forced to do, but him not necessarily like forcing us to do it, but like, come on, dude, let's do this together. I want this to be something we do together. It really just, I guess, flourished something that I didn't think that I was gonna be good at. You know what I mean? And I still play the bass now. Like one of my top 10, one of my top 10 bass inspirers with influences. That's the word. Flea.
Oh, yeah.
I watched. I swear to God, he has a YouTube video. It's black and white, and all you can see is the colors of his bass. It's like a 15-minute video of how to slap the bass, and I watched it like 40, 50 times, just trying to get the rhythm down. You know what I mean? But Flea and my dad are my top
Cool,
two.
man. Heck yeah. And also, like as always, I want to give a big shout out to Mama Judy. She's awesome, dude. She's like 95% of the vlog. You guys don't see her, but she's working hard back there. And also, like you mentioned, Alex Vargas, Live Audio, they're our sponsors. Love you guys, man.
Woo.
Woo!
Every time I see the blues, I feel so alive. Every time I see the blues, baby, I never felt so alive. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, baby, for the rest of my life. When you sing the blues, you light up my life. When you sing the blues, baby, set my heart on fire. do a little bit of correspondence right here. Thank you so much for the metal shop box for having us on their show today. All I want you to do is repeat after me. We're gonna sing the blues with me, alright? Sing the blues with me. 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 Alright. So we're gonna do this one more time. I wanna hear you louder. Sing the blues with me. 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 Oh, sing the blues with me. Sing the blues with me. Alright. Now we're gonna take you guys home now. Sing the blues with me. 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 And we'll all for the rest of our lives.
Okay, so now it's time for the rapid fire. But I think this time, instead of doing random rapid fire questions, we're gonna do some rock and roll trivia on the Soulful Gentlemen.
Oh.
Let's test their let's test their metal. Okay.
All right.
So, true or false? These are true or false. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Axl Rose is an anagram for oral sex. True or false?
True.
I'm gonna go true.
I'm gonna go with you on that one.
True.
I'm gonna say false because it's against the grain.
No, it's true.
Oh damn! I was like true. Okay, just kidding. It's not.
Okay.
It
Not
is.
trusting us.
Okay.
All right.
Jimmy Page dated a 14-year-old girl while he was touring with Led Zeppelin. True or false?
I believe it.
I believe it too.
I want to say false because I like Jimmy Page.
True.
Oh, yeah, we're 2 for 2 except for Jaguar.
Okay.
And Josh.
He's Bill Cosby.
Let me
Put in
see.
pops.
Led Zeppelin came up with the title Black Dog after a large Rottweiler walked into the studio while recording.
I'm gonna say false on that.
I'm gonna say false
Yeah.
on that one.
False. It was a Labrador, black Labrador. Okay.
It's still a dog though.
Okay.
Outlandish.
Eric Clapton wrote the song Layla for John Lennon's wife.
True.
True.
All right.
I think that's
I'll
true.
go with him.
False. It was George Harrison's wife.
George Harrison.
John Lennon's wife was Yoko Ono.
That's right. Thank you.
Yoko
I knew it was a
Ono.
wife.
Come on, Yoko.
Bringing no bands, all right.
Okay, and Leonard Skinner's Freebird is dedicated to Dwayne Allman of the Allman Brothers Band.
True.
False.
False.
I'm gonna go with you. True.
True.
Yeah.
Dude. Nice. Okay, so that concludes our rapid trivia.
I lost this week.
I,
For a fact.
yeah, I
Cool.
think-
So, is there anything that you guys wanted to cover that we didn't during the session?
Actually, I kind of want to ask you a question.
Okay.
So, what made you want to I guess, bring local bands kind of like us to light in such a nice
Big
way?
stage.
You know what I mean? Like you.
Well, actually, okay. Well, as far as like photography or the vlogs.
Well, everything.
Yeah.
Like what's inspired you to take it this far? You know?
Well, like for both of us, Judy and I, the one major thing that we have in common, and the reason why we met at a show is because our kids, my son and her daughter, are the same age, and they were both in different local bands. So we met at a show because our kids were both playing that show. We didn't know each other yet, and we didn't really meet each other at that show. It's just that we're at the same show at the same place.
Yeah.
You know? So like we became friends with their daughters. My son and my daughter became friends with the daughters too. So I guess the root of our passion is our kids, because I've always taken pictures of my son when he did anything back when we played sports, when I used to coach him and stuff. So it carried into when he played shows with local bands. And then obviously Judy was there for the same reason. I mean, the first impression I have of Judy was her walking into a venue carrying a big bass drum, helping her daughter carry her stands, and I was like, wow, that's cool. She's just like me.
Yeah.
You know, because I used to carry my son's cab into the venue and his guitar and stuff. Yeah. And then so like Judy got into my photography grew a lot because we started going to shows so often with our kids, and then Judy got into video soon after that, so she started recording bands at shows. And then almost 3 years ago, some friends of ours in a band called Triumph Over Shipwreck at the time.
Oh yeah.
They had just returned home from tour, and they came back with an idea for a vlog for their band. And so they asked us, would you mind doing that? And we were like really intimidated because we'd never done anything like this before.
Yeah.
Our part was always just like multimedia stuff, never where we would interview. So we did it for them, and then they asked us, you know what, just don't release it. It was fun, but we'll get back to you when we're ready. And then time passed, and we thought, you know what, we should do it for other bands since we liked it, man.
Yeah.
It was really cool talking to them and getting to know them a little more. We know them from seeing them at shows and when they get off stage and stuff very briefly. But getting to know the musicians meant a lot more to us because we can relate to it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we're talking to our kids, man. And then a lot of times when you go to shows, you become like family with a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So it just grew from there. We started doing it. At first, they were very short 10-minute vlogs where it was just the band talking. But it kind of got monotonous because they were, it seemed like the same vlog with different people.
Mm-hmm.
So we started inviting local musicians to help with the hosting. So they would host a vlog for us. And then after a while, we just thought, you know what, maybe we should be doing it because the metal shop is our home and stuff, and we go to shows a lot, so we're really familiar with a lot of the local musicians. So we just took over hosting duties. Judy did one. She did the vlog for the Rock House. We featured them. And then I did one too. The first one I ever did was for the Black Orchid Lounge on the West Side. That was our very first one. Then from there, I just loved it, man. It just came natural to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been doing it ever since then. And honestly, we do it because we love doing it. We have a genuine love for the music scene. A lot of people may like doubt it. Sometimes people get resentful because we don't go to the shows as often as we would like to. But I'm sorry, man.
life gets in the
We
way.
do have lives apart from that.
Yeah.
It's like a big part of our life, but it's not our entire life because
Yeah.
I still have a daughter. We have other interests too.
Still got a house payment.
We got at work. We go to the movies a lot and stuff. So,
Yeah, I know.
but the music scene is a big part of our lives, and we love it. We love it that way. We wouldn't change it. So I hope I answered your question.
No, yeah, you answered it, and you expanded on more than I thought you would have. So thank
Cool.
you.
And we
Yeah,
really
man.
appreciate all you two do, especially.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you guys too, because like we always said from the beginning, this is your vlog. It's the band's vlog, not ours. Cool. The only thing is that the name is like it's our home.
Well, I'll start moving in tomorrow then.
You said it's our vlog, so it takes place here. So. Cool. So I don't know. We got everything covered there. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like if you're a promoter or if you guys are booking shows, make sure to hit them up, man. Add some variety to the shows. It's cool that they already play like Love Buzz and Rock House, but we like to see them play like the Low Rock Palace and Tricky Falls even, or the Perch. Like hit them up, man. Book them. Get them on some acoustic shows. Would you guys do an acoustic
We
set?
would totally
could,
be down
yeah.
to do some acoustic.
Easy.
There you go.
Yeah.
See that? See how diverse they are? The diverse gentlemen.
Comedy.
Yeah, so hit them up, man. Book them. And well, thank you guys for allowing us to feature your band.
Thank you.
We're excited to see you guys perform.
Yep.
Although the performance segments have already played by this point.
Okay.
They were awesome, huh? Okay, and as always, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week on the Metal Shop Vlogs. Peace.